Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast as Doc takes a shot to get us started because he bit his tongue. Ow.
No, quite literally. He's not being metaphorical, folks. That feels good. Yeah, so I just chomped down, crunched my tongue. I heard and felt the crunch during dinner. A lot of pain. That pain where I just shook. And if anyone knows me, if I'm not talking for like a period of 5 seconds or more, something is seriously wrong. So yeah, whiskey. That was the first whiskey sip of the night, and it's not going to be the last. We'll be dipping my tongue in this.
That will bring the white blood cells to the tongue. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. That's Dr. Tim's assessment. Just stick everything in whiskey and it'll heal. Right? I'm like a Civil War doctor. Just cut it off. Just cut it off or take some whiskey shots or dip it in whiskey and you're good to go.
So that's just science.
Yeah, it's just science. I mean, come on. 1860s. Couldn't be wrong. So, Doc, you're going to love this. Guess where I went this last weekend? I went to the OK Corral.
I love it. I've been there several times.
I didn't go to the real one. There's a shooting range here in Florida called OK Corral. That's all I did. I just went there and shot some shotguns.
That's very cool. Not as cool. Way less cool. Go to Tombstone, Arizona, folks. It's a real place in Arizona called Tombstone, and it actually is like basically the town is basically left unchanged. And if you go, Tim, or anyone who knows me or is in my DMs, let me know. And I know people in Tombstone. Somehow that shouldn't surprise you. And I'll give you like the tips you need.
Yeah, just don't go to Four Corners. I went to Four Corners one time. It's the biggest ripoff. They charge you so much money, and all you do is stand on a circle, and then you have to pay to use the bathroom. That's the only place I've been in my entire life where they make you pay to use the bathroom.
Nowhere near Tombstone, by the way. Opposite end of the state. Huge state. Gigantic state. Yeah. It's very funny when you go to Arizona.
The Grand Canyon. You have to drive all the way around.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to do anything in Arizona and then also the Grand Canyon, it's like one of those are 2 trips, or that's a week you're going to need.
Fly. Learn how to fly a helicopter if you want to go there. You'll have a much better time. So anyway, we do have prospects for you, I promise. And besides shooting shotguns, I also went to a baseball game this weekend. I saw the Tortugas, the Daytona Tortugas, which is the Reds A-ball team, against the Cardinals A-ball team, which I've seen a million times. So really nothing new there. Travis Honeyman was good again. Needs to be promoted. I don't know why.
Why is he still there?
I don't know. Really,
the idea was that he's like a polished college bat, but he's just hanging out at low A.
Yeah, in low A. Yeah, just hitting 350. It's like, okay, whatever. And then I also got to catch Alfredo Duno, and he got hurt. He's such a big boy. That guy's so big. I couldn't see him last year because when I saw the Tortugas last year, he was already hurt because he broke a rib last year and missed a good amount of time. But that dude is a large human. And he's basically the 6'6" version of Moises Ballesteros. So if you can imagine Moises Ballesteros' BMI in a 6'6" body, that's basically Alfredo Duno. Actually, I don't know how tall he is, but he's got to be really tall. 6'2", I don't think that's correct. He was towering. I think he's 6'4". He's pretty big. It's got 6'2" on Fangraphs. I think that is cutting him short because he's a big dude. But he did get hurt. He took a pitch in the ankle and then tried to stay in and then got hurt running the bases right after, and they pulled him again. So I don't know if it looks like he played again the next day, so maybe he's okay. Sammy Stafura, I saw him a couple times last year. Looked like he got bigger, more muscular. He didn't really do anything during the game, but he's hitting the 4-hole now. Last year when I saw him, he was hitting leadoff, but he's definitely noticeably stronger for Sammy Stafura, who was he was a top 50 prospect or top 150 prospect for me last rankings. Barely. I don't think he's going to make the cut into my top 150 this time around because there's a lot of deep guys I like. As I'm mid-ranking re-rankings, I'm at 50 in the 50 range right now as I'm doing my re-rankings. But what about any of those guys, Doc? You know any of those guys?
Do I know it? Oh, I like how that's where we've got now, and it's real. It's real. Do you know those guys? So does Duno Stafura Honeyman?
Yeah, those are the only guys that I saw. I mean, like I saw Josh Cross strike out like 3 times again.
Okay.
Because every time I see him, I've like he has like 9 homers or 10 homers or something, and I've been to probably a third like a third of the home games this year, and all I've done is seen him strike out. I've not seen him do anything except for strike out, Josh Cross. So
His
I'm
bad
just like
luck.
his bad luck charm. I don't know.
Yeah, Stafura, Sammy Stafura. It's okay. His face and his name make so much more sense when you realize he's from New York. I'm not sure if that's near New York City. I don't know anything about New York, but he just looks like a New York kid. Sammy Stafura, the Stafura family. Yeah, he's doing well. He's got nearly a 400 OBP right now. And I remember he had a lot of, I don't know about a lot of hype, but he had some hype when he was drafted. Kind of fizzled away a little bit. So someone when you see those names that had that hype, had 31 stolen bases last year. In fact, he had a good line last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, if the power can trend up, and like you said, he seems bigger, maybe that's someone to buy, especially with that nice park in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's definitely bigger from last year. When last year I saw him, he was kind of like speedy, lean type of guy. He's got muscle on now. And Duno is actually like per Fangraphs the number 2 ranked prospect in the red system. I don't have him ranked that high. But I don't know. He's a big time power hitter. Like we haven't seen that many professional appearances from him yet. Only 70 plate appearances over the last 2 years, or sorry, 70 games over the last 2 years for 249 plate appearances. So he's only played like half of a season over the last 2 seasons. 7 bombs, 6 steals. I have no idea how that guy's stealing bags. I'll tell you, that guy is like, he's not going to steal bases in the major leagues. I'd be very surprised. Big dude. I tried to see Quinn Matthews, Doc, and completely missed it. He pitched the next game. I tried to time it up. I was like, okay, I'm going to go Saturday, bring the kids. And then I missed it by 1 day. And then I think he went 3 innings with 4 Ks or 3 innings with 5 Ks or something like that, 0 walks. Looking good. Velocity's ticking back up. The main thing is, though, he's not walking everybody that he's seeing. And through 2 rehab appearances now, he has 8 Ks and 0 walks. So I think Quinn Matthews may be back.
Yeah, the buy low window is slamming shut. This one league where I don't have him and I really want him. Guy is just like the GM just wasn't paying attention, and now I see today he like for the first time in weeks he just declined it. I'm gonna keep firing away. I'm gonna get that guy. I'm gonna get Quinn Matthews. Folks, get Quinn Matthews now if you want in on him because I think his stock is gonna explode. He was probably a little banged up and didn't want to admit it, and so he didn't have his command. If he's back, they're not gonna let him pitch if he's not at least 80 to 90%. So I think we're gonna see a different Quinn Matthews here.
Yeah, I mean, he had a shoulder injury, and last year he was pitching, like his strike rate every game was around 50 or higher. And then in these first 3 games that he got rocked in at AAA, his strike rate was like 30%. It's like unheard. It's like unheard of, terrible command. That's like Rick Ankiel Yips command.
It would have been
backstop.
Yeah, and it would have been like more concerning if he was just a little bit worse than last year. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it was realistic, but because it was like
20%.
Oh, this is like the opposite player. Like, I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's done." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, it's like the players don't turn from, they don't go opposite. Usually, unless something is physically wrong. And then everyone kind of assumed, I know as soon as it happened, people thought, Tommy John, he's out forever. I'm like, okay, well, maybe not. Like sometimes people can fight through a little bit of tiredness or something.
So I'll give you a real life trade offer I received. I have a 26th round Quinn Matthews in a league where basically guys increase 2 rounds every year. So I basically have him for life, right? And someone offered me, I think he was like a 17th round Travis Bazana right after he got hurt for Quinn Matthews. And I declined. I was like, no, I declined that one because it's a 20-team league and deeper leagues pitching is pretty valuable. Like it's like you're lucky if you have like 7 starters in that league. So I was like, Quinn Matthews is probably going to pitch this year. Travis Bazana ain't going to make it up this year now. I could probably use a Quinn Matthews starter here or something here by the end of the year. So I think I'll hold on to him there. But I did decline a Bazana for Quinn Matthews trade.
That's interesting. That is interesting because even when both were healthy, that was kind of. Although Bazana, it's interesting. It was like the unthinkable thing. I was just talking with Matt Morris, my co-host, about offline. We were talking about how crazy it's like people. If it was like a few months ago, if we were saying things like Nick Kurtz, Jack Caggs, JJ Weatherholt, Chase Burns, Connor Griffin. If we said all those guys are now ahead of Travis Bazana, maybe even Hagen Smith, it's like you would be looked at crazy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're against the dogma, against the religion, you're against the cult, right? It's like the cult of
Anti-Australian.
the cult of off-season, fantasy prospect analysis rankings. It's very funny. And it's unfortunate he got hurt because he's probably still going to be a good player, but things happen. You got to be healthy. Availability is the best ability.
Yes, it is. All right, let's get into the T10 now. This is what you've been waiting for. Number one on the T10 is a new player that we haven't really talked much about, but I've actually really liked for quite a while here. It is Yordany Monegro, starting pitcher with the Red Sox. Last week, Doc, in 5 innings, he had 10 Ks, 1 walk, 0 ERA, 0.8 whip. And Monegro, it's not just like one good start. On the whole season this year at AA, 37.4 K minus walk rate, 17% swinging strike rate, 34% CSW. He's been phenomenal all year. He's ticked up the fastball from last year. Last year, he was only throwing like 92, 93. This year, he's throwing 94, 95, 96. And he's also got like a really nice gyro slider. I like to call it hard slider. He's got a cutter and a splitter too with a curve. So he's got a 5-pitch arsenal. Yordany Monegro with the Red Sox. And I know you're going to like him because he's 6'4", but I know what you're not going to like. He's only 180 pounds for 6'4". That's like the same weight that's like me, but I'm 6 foot. So I don't think he's that skinny though. I don't know. I think he looks at like a healthy weight if you actually look at him. So I don't know if that 180 is true.
I mean, it's acceptable, but yeah, I'd put on an extra 20 pounds. But yeah, you're right. The Dominican Republic, sometimes they'll get those measurements when they're 17 years old and they won't update them for 10 years or something. He's 22 and a half. He's getting closer toward 23. So yeah, he may have put on some pounds since then. Yeah, I mean, you gotta love a 16K per 9, and his walks are not going up either. They're staying the same, if not going down. So I'm surprised I think what we're going to do is we're going to be hearing a lot about this guy since he is a Red Sox prospect. I was going to say it's surprising we haven't heard a whole lot about him yet. But they're Marcelo Myers and the Roman Anthony's eventually are going to be graduating. So the Boston media is going to need to hype up some new kids on the block. I think he's going to be one of them.
Yeah, it helps. Like he already had good command. And I feel like this is like almost like the Quinn Matthews model that we saw last year. If you have good command and then you add velocity, or maybe it's like the Cleveland Guardians thing. I think that's like, if you want to take it old school, that's like the Shane Bieber thing, right? Have great command and then add velocity later. That's kind of what he's done because if you look through his minor league track record, he has had under double-digit walk rates pretty much everywhere. Like 7%, 7%, 8%, 9%, 6%, 6.5% this year. So if you can keep your walk rates under 10 and then you're throwing 30% K rates, that's great. Like that really shows like, okay, this guy could probably make the transition into the majors as a starting pitcher. He may not have relief risk, right? I don't think we have any relief risk with a guy like Yordany Monegro. And if you're watching on YouTube at the Tim Kanak, you can see on the YouTube channel his starts. Like 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 0 walks. Like besides this little hiccup here against the Reading Fighting, whatever they were, because it just changed on me. He had really good numbers basically every start so far this season. So for the Fighting Phils, Reading Fighting Phils, Fisher Cats, 7 Ks, 0 walks, 7 Ks, 1 walk, 10 Ks, 1 walk. So he's been pretty consistent all year in limiting the walks and throwing a bunch of strikes. And when you do that with uptick of stuff, with uptick of velocity, that's going to pan out well for you. Got anything else on Monegro before we move to T2?
No, excited to see what he does next. And I might have to go look him up and see who's got him in certain leagues.
Okay, this is going to be a guy. T2 is a guy that you're going to love, Doc. I saw him a bunch of times last year, and I really liked him. Like Welsh knew when I was doing the prospect. He's like, dude, you got this guy on here like 5 times on the prospect 10 last year. It is, and why I say you're gonna like him is because he's a midget, right? I know you love midgets. It's Kiner Delgado with the Pittsburgh Pirates in high A now. He is 5'7", listed at 145 pounds. I don't think he's that small, but this is like basically you're like Ozzy Albies light types player that you is going to step in here for the Pirates. Last week, little mini me here, little mini Ozzy Albies, 5 home runs last week, 8 for 22, 5 extra base hits, 5 home runs, 2 stolen bases. And on the season, Kiner Delgado, 268, 368, 490, 10% walk rate, 26% K rate, but 17 extra base hits, 8 bombs, and 11 steals. So we have a nice little power speed thing here from a middle infielder from the Pirates. And guess what? Not enough. He's also a switch hitter, right? Ozzy Albies to the T here. Little mini Ozzy Albies, Kiner Delgado here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. What do you like about Mr. Kiner Delgado?
Well, for the record, it's not every guy. And first of all, 5'7". We don't call those guys midgets. I'm not 6 foot myself. You know, we call them fun sized. We call them fun sized. Caleb Durbin, he might be actually 5'5". That might be an issue. So, but the Delgado, no relation to Carlos, most likely. I mean, you got to wonder, right? I feel like that's a pretty common name. So I'm not like super knowledgeable on this guy, but you like what you see so far. Especially I do doubt. Have you seen this guy play?
Yeah, I've seen him. I think I saw him.
Does he look like he's 145 pounds?
No, I would say he's definitely probably like 5'6" or 5'7", but I would say he's probably more like 160 pounds. Like he's got a little beef on him. And he's electric. He's fun. He's a fun player because he's just like a little lightning bolt all over the place. He's got like guys. that kind of dirtbag type mentality to him where he's just doing everything. Like he's always trying to steal bags. He's always trying to make something happen on the field.
Yeah, I love that energy. That's the thing. That's the reason I like a guy like Durbin or Peyton Alays. And you're looking at Delgado now. The reason I asked about the weight is because he's tapping into power. Like, what's this here? He's got 9 home runs in. He's got 8 home runs in 40 games this year versus 9 last year in 90 games. So he's way up to the power levels. With actually gaining plate skills, it seems. Actually had bad ratios last year. Didn't really have anything. He's striking out a little bit more now, but doesn't seem to matter. Like again, his ratios are actually better, which leads me to his contact rates. His contact rates are down right now too. I don't know though, man. It's must be a small sample size or something. I don't really know what to make of this line. This is a very unusual situation. It looks like he's making less contact than he ever has, but he's got a 275 average and a 371 OBP. So I don't know. This is a weird guy, and he's got the speed. He's got some power. This is a really weird profile. I don't know what to make of him.
Last year he had some bad BABIP luck too that kind of pulled his stats down because he's fast. Like he's really fast, and then he is only running like 280 BABIPs for a switch hitting fast guy. That's kind of weird. Like usually the fast guys are going to run at least like 330 BABIP or something like that. And then he has shown power too. DSL and Complex League, he had some power at both of those levels. So I think we're just seeing some of this kind of play it back in. You can definitely see, though, I pulled up the splits if you're watching on YouTube. He is terrible against lefties. So just like Ozzy Albies, this might be a situation where the Pirates want to sit down with him. And they haven't done it yet with Albies, but the Orioles and Cedric Mullins did this and saw great benefit. But he's like, okay, I'm going to stop switch hitting. Because you can see Kiner Delgado against righties, so as a left-handed hitter, has a 311, 427, 590 slash with all 8 of his home runs. And as a right-handed hitter against lefties, he's hitting 133 with 0 home runs and a 133 slug. So maybe stop hitting right-handed. Like, I don't know, dude. Maybe it's just stop doing that, and you might be better.
As soon as I said it was a weird profile, I saw the S there on bats, and I thought, I wonder if there's something to do with that. I haven't done the research, but I think you might be onto something.
Yep. Okay, T3. We have another fun starting pitcher that we haven't talked about yet. This is David Davalillo with the Rangers. He's in Double-A now. And this is after last season. He led the entire minors in ERA last year, lowest ERA in the entire minors. Now, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this guy, Doc, because he is a shorter dude for a pitcher. I think he's 6 foot, sits in the low 90s on the fastball, but he's got some really nice breaking pitches. So this is a dude who just lives primarily on the breakers, but he makes it work. Like when I first saw him, I was like, it kind of reminds me of like the Brewers' Carlos Rodriguez. So I don't know like how good he's going to be. Like good breakers, okay fastball, short dude. I don't know how it's going to work. But the slider and the curve, they're awesome. Generates a ton of ground balls. This week, 6 innings pitched, 10 Ks, 1 walk, 0 ERA, 0.67 whip. And then on the season, 32.2 K minus walk rate, 14.5 swinging strike rate, 32.6 CSW. And he might be leading baseball again in ERA, 0.92 ERA with a 0.71 whip. This is just a dude people can't square up. It's like almost like Emmanuel Clase wrapped into a starter where people just like he's not a major strikeout guy, but I mean, like the pitches are not the same because he's not throwing 100-mile-per-hour cutters. But I mean, like as far as like just people can't just square his stuff up, that's the advantage that someone like Davalillo has with the Rangers. What do you have on this man? You, sir, are muted.
Well,
what's the podcast?
I just said the most profound. I had the most profound, words I ever said, but we won't get those back. So now I'll say something dumb. I was just saying it's another situation where what's the profile? What's happening here? It looks like the strikeouts are ticking way up. They've been as low as 6.6 strikeouts per 9, and the looks like that's a Venezuelan league or something. Yeah, Venezuelan Winter League. And then 8.9 K9 low A last year, but then up to 10.2 high A, and now up to 12.6. And again, you love when the strikeouts go up and the walks go down. That's usually not what happens, but here we are. Something I really love with pitchers when they finally crack that 100 innings barrier, and he did that last year. If you can do that again this year, this is a guy where you would think he would, soon he's going to have to get promotion up the ranks. I feel like Texas Rangers do not get credit or don't get hype around their pitchers at all, which is funny because they just got they're getting a lot out of Tyler Mahle right now, despite having a weird. Again, I'm using the word weird a lot. I think of something different, maybe an unusual 2-pitch mix.
Yeah, even Evaldi. They turned Evaldi from just like a number 3 starter into like one of the better pitchers in base. Like the last few years, Evaldi went from just being kind of like a ho-hum number 3 guy to
almost,
a rotation guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mitch Bratt, I just looked at his profile the other day. I'm like, what's up? Mm-hmm. No one's talking about this guy. Like, this guy's pretty good. And then, David Daveo. I hadn't heard about this guy. Now I have. In fact, it's time to go see what leagues he's rostered in.
Time to add a 0.92.
By the way, everyone had Monegro in every league because anytime it was a Boston guy who's doing anything good for any amount of time, he's gone everywhere. I bet you Daveo is Daveo is a little bit more available.
Yeah, Rangers prospects pitching. You're right, though. Alejandro Rosario was the guy who popped last year for them. Cole Drake is another guy who's pitching very well this year.
I got him down there on my Huckleberries, bro.
Oop, I didn't even notice. Look at that. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
So we'll get to T4 here. This is an easy guy. Everybody knows who this is. It's catcher Kyle Teal with the Red Sox or the White Sox. The Red Sox. We were just talking about the Red Sox. The White Sox. Former Red Sox, now a White Sox. Changed his Sox. 8 for 15 last week. 4 extra base hits. 3 home runs. Now on the season, Kyle Teal is hitting 296, 389, 493 with 15 extra base hits, 7 home runs, 4 steals. The White Sox, are they going to do it? Are they going to bring him up and have him start playing other positions? Or are they going to bring him up and he's just going to split time with Caro? Caro's been pretty good. So I would like, though, to see both these guys getting more plate appearances in just like half a season for each of them. But Kyle Teal really tearing it up. I think he's ready to leave AAA. This is like Dalton Rushing number 2 here. It's like the second coming of Dalton Rushing that we just kind of eclipsed with the Dodgers. What do you think about Teal?
Well, it was my, I think I've said
tongue. Yeah, play the tongue.
Yeah. And so I was under the idea that Kyle Teal was the better defensive catcher out of the two of them. I'm not sure if that's still considered to be the case. Catching is kind of a weird game. But yeah, I mean, I always figured that Cuero would have to move over, which is kind of why I was off of him a little bit. Just because, as we're seeing with Caro, it's like no power really. Just a solid 273, 351 line so far. That's a really good line so far in that 31 game stint with Chicago. And so you'll love to see that. Kyle Teal was going to be the Jason Varitek comp for me in Boston. I really liked him as basically that similar kind of line to Caro, to be honest. Maybe a little bit more power. But yeah, I thought if you'd be boring, but crank out those counting stats. That's a problem when you go to Chicago. Because your counting stats, as of right now, with especially like Colson Montgomery is kind of stagnating, like the future still does not look great. Like maybe Caleb Bonner in 3 years or something, but yeah, they need some help there. Yeah, the counting stats do concern me, but yeah, Kyle Teal, he's got he's got the pedigree. He seems like a really safe kind of catcher. He's not going to be someone. He's not going to be Augustin Ramirez who just bashes all these bombs. But for some people, maybe it'll be a breath of fresh air. Maybe almost like that when Tyler Stevenson was good kind of thing. Like a good 270, 350 kind of line, like exactly what Edgar Caro's doing. When you've gone through these black holes at catcher, it's nice to have the steady guys. Although we're kind of entering a catcher renaissance, it feels like.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right on that. Yeah, his carrying tool is pretty much the hit tool, but the main thing that I see here is that the power's up. His max EVs are up. Last year is 109.6. This year it's 111.8. His average exit velocity last year was 86.3. This year it's 89.3 with an EV 90 of 103.7. So he's hitting the ball harder this year. There's more power in the profile. Like it's not just going to be like a batting average catcher. You're actually going to get some power along with it. So maybe you get a little bit of maybe he's the AL version of Drake Baldwin, right? So I don't know. I like Teal a lot. I think he's up soon. So if you need a catcher in a league, that's a guy that I would probably be grabbing. T5, another name that a lot of people already know, but he's really good and had another really good week and probably should be in AA now. It is outfielder Lazaro Montes with the Mariners. 8 for 24 last week, 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs. On the season, Laz has a 274, 388, 567 triple slash, 15% walk rate, 26% K rate, 22 extra base hits, 10 bombs, 2 steals. I have been telling people since last year he's not going to be stealing tons of bags. Like I think he's maybe like a 5 or 10 steal guy. So calm down, because people before were like, "Oh, look, he's running. I don't think he's going to be stealing 20 bags or 15 bags. Like if you're lucky if you get like 8 bags or something like that from him." But Lazaro Montes, he is ready for the next level. Last year at the end of the season, he finished strong, started this year strong, keeps on rolling. What do you have on Montes? And what do you think about it? Is he a top 25 prospect for you?
Oh yeah, no, I've had him in. I don't know what he is right now for me, but at some points I've had him in the top 10, kind of like in and out. I guess depending on the day, but I think I've seen him measured even taller than 6'5" now, or maybe that's what it was. I think he was listed at 6'3" for the longest time, and yeah, now they got him up to 6'5". Believe that's the case. Yeah, so Fangraphs not really a big fan about him. They got him like a 45 FV, 7th in the organization. I don't see that. I see a much
Crazy.
Yeah, and people will use FVs like it's basically like it's the Bible. It's like, oh well, he can't beat that. I'm like, people do it all the time. It's that's that person's opinion. That's the model's opinion or whatever they're doing. But what I'm seeing is a gigantic human being who, yeah, he's not making a ton of contact, but he's doing all you got to do when you have that kind of brute strength and are willing to take a 15% walk rate, you're willing to take a walk 15% of the time, have a great eye, you can get by with a 70% contact rate. We'll see how that translates to the bigs. Yes, the park isn't great, but it's like Bryce Eldridge in San Francisco. It doesn't matter when you get to that level of strength. It doesn't matter what park you're playing in. They're going to go, and they're going to go often. So I think we're
Yeah.
going to see this year, we're seeing 44 games, 10 home runs already, which is that's a pretty good pace, right?
It's not a problem for Cal Raleigh.
He's not striking out too much. He's made market improvements from last year at high A. He's almost 30% now. It's 5% less than that. It's great. 25% K rate. We can deal with that all day.
Yeah, he's ready for the next level. When do you think he's up? Do you think he's up like at a decent time next season? Like he's definitely not going to be up this year, but like
I moved him.
next season, should he be up early, mid? Like, what do you think?
I moved him, and sorry to cut you off, in a couple shallow leagues. Just because I was like, it's going to be so many peaks and valleys. Like, he could easily go up to double and or triple A and like have a struggle thing. Like, this could still be, he might not debut till 2027 pretty easily. Which is like a while away, and so he may end up getting some kind of prospect fatigue. There might be another cycle for him. And then, of course, as soon as he, I think, eventually destroys AAA like Jack Kaggs is doing, I think that's when you're going to see the peak hype, and we won't be able to deny Lazaro Montes much longer. Maybe he will never be Yordan Alvarez like he wants to be, but I think we got something special here.
Yeah, I agree. Number 6, T6. It is starting pitcher Peyton Toll with the Red Sox. We got another Red Sox pitcher here. This is the Red Sox, White Sox is the Sox podcast. This week, 4 2/3 innings, 9 Ks, 0 walks, 193 ERA, 0.86 WHIP. So this season, in 28 1/3 innings, he's got a 35 K minus walk rate, 18.1 swinging strike rate, 39.4 CSW. That is ridiculous. 4th year team ERA, though, so he does have some home run problems, but the K minus walk is insane. He has 41 Ks and 3 walks in 28 1/3. Or sorry, in the last 5 starts. And that's only in 5 starts, 41 Ks and 3 walks. So pretty sick. Huge 6'6" lefty, 96 on the fastball, wipeout sweeper, killer changeup. So basically, fastball sweeper changeup is what he's going on as a lefty. And I know you love that size. I think he went to TCU too. So he's a horny toad. Come on, horny toads.
Yeah, he's just as big. 6'6", 250, Oklahoma kid. He's an Okie from not Muskogee. I don't think so. Where's he born? Stillwater. All right. That's where the holidays are from. So, hey, not bad. In fact, you got to wonder if they ever crossed paths. They probably did. They probably know each other. Yeah, Peyton Tolley or Toll?
I don't know.
No, Tolley sounds cooler, so we're running with it. I don't want to know the truth.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. It's like always a great place to start from that size. You can't teach it. Gotta like what you're seeing other than the home run so far. But 22 years old. Yeah, how old is he? 22 years old. Yeah, you want to see him kind of get that under control, but it's nothing. It's not like an epidemic it's not like it's a serious thing for him right now. It's not out of control. So will be interesting to see how he does. The walks are, they're looking great. The strikeouts are looking great, and he's got those things you can't teach. So again, this is another guy who, the more success he finds, and the more he climbs up this ladder, you're going to be hearing about him from the Boston media.
Yeah, 6'6", 250 pounds. Just an absolute monster.
Workhorse.
Yeah, exactly. From the left side with the sweep.
I forgot to mention, as a lefty, there's pretty high upside here. I might be underplaying it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. He's a second rounder, so there's pedigree there. Number 7 is JJ Weatherholt with the Cardinals. My favorite person.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, 5 for 19 this week with 5 walks. Of course, just ridiculous on base skills. 4 extra base hits, 1 bomb, 3 steals. So showing off the wheels, JJ Weatherholt this week. 292, 393, 451 slash. More walks than Ks for JJ Weatherholt this year. 12 extra base hits, 3 home runs, and 6 stolen bases. So we've seen the last couple of weeks some of the power coming on for Weatherholt as he's starting to hit some doubles. Like we mentioned earlier in the season, that once it starts warming up at some of these places, you're going to see some more power from some of these guys. Weatherholt now has the opening because Bazana's hurt to zoom past Bazana, right? So here's Weatherholt's chance. I love to see him starting to run. I've already talked before about his EVs. Like he hits the ball really hard all the time. I think his let me pull it up, but I think his contact rate is like 87. His zone contact last year I think was like 93. So this dude does not miss the ball when he's swinging. He has one of the better hit tools in baseball, in minor league baseball. What do you think about Weatherholt?
Does Nolan Gorman have options left?
Probably. Is he
I think it's
86% contact? That's not even zone contact. That's just
what I mean. Like it's like you're not getting the polished Weatherholt yet. You're not getting the final form, and yeah, I don't want to mess him up. That said, and I don't know if he's ready right now, but if the Cardinals keep just dominating or they're not even always dominating, but they're almost more impressive right now, and that they're finding ways to win. Like those are what, long season left, but those are what special teams do, and those are what the quote unquote teams of destiny do. And say what you will about the Cardinals, the Cardinal way. Some people like to make fun of it. It's like they find those ways. These pitchers, like if Quinn Matthews comes along, if Michael McGreevy keeps doing what he's doing, like you actually have like this kind of depth. Maybe you throw in a Quinn Matthews into the bullpen, down the stretch for a playoff bid or something. Again, today, no, but it's May. So what happens maybe August, September? And so with Weatherholt, I think the way he's playing right now, the front office has to already be thinking about that. And looking at Nolan Gorman, it's too bad. I like, he's really loved in the clubhouse. They like Nolan Gorman there. Unfortunately, I mean, it's just like a black hole in the lineup right now. I love seeing him swing the bat. I like it better when he hits the ball, and he's not doing it enough. If you just take him out and put a guy with 80+ contact rate in there, it's like if you're going to have Jordan Walker kind of hacking, slashing, getting in streaky, who'd you rather have next to Walker? Another Walker, or do you want a steady guy, a steady presence who's always basically is going to get on base? Like a JJ Weather, call me crazy, or save this clip for later, but JJ Weatherholt could be the same kind of spark in the late game season for the Cardinals that Evan Carter was for the 2023 Texas Rangers. Get on base. Maybe they don't have all their power maxed out yet, but they just have that presence, and it's enough to energize a team down the stretch.
Yeah, I just don't see it this year. I would love it, but I just don't see it because Sajazi is still not even getting playing time, and Sajazi was one of the better hitters on the team. He was like third in WRC plus or something when they sent him back down. But this lineup is going to be so annoying for pitchers when, like, next year, if they find a taker for Arenado or whatever, next year when you have like Weatherholt, Sajazi, and Donovan, like all, and with Newbar, like all back to back in the front of the lineup, it's just gonna be so annoying. Like all these guys are gonna be taking so many pitches, just fouling everything off. It's gonna be the most annoying lineup in the world for pitchers to face.
And then there's like, you know what? I'll just throw meatballs. Then Jordan Walker comes up and oh, thank God, and just that's but really that's protection, right? Like that would help a bat like Walker, who seems to be like he needs he needs to get going, and if you have all these guys in front of him forcing the pitcher to throw meatballs eventually, that helps.
Ivan Herrera. That's why Ivan Herrera is like the best.
That team is looking good. Like you get Burleson, it's like they got a lot of guys. Victor Scott's playing great. He almost had a 300 average a couple weeks ago.
He's been good. So number 8 on the T10 is outfielder Carson Bench with the Mets. I think we had him as an honorable mention, and I think he's like kind of like an Evan Carter. But he just had another strong week. 7 for 18 this week with 7 extra base hits. So every hit was an extra base hit with 1 home run and a steal. And I think he had 2 triples out of that too. So this guy is just like, I think he's one of the more underrated players from this draft. Like this last draft class was just so ridiculously good, but he's one of the more underrated players from the draft class. And I mentioned before last time when we talked about him, I was like, look at the splits against lefties though. That's what's killer. Against righties, he's hitting 355, 462, 609 Doc this season with 4 home runs. That's insane against righties. But then against lefties, 194. I mean, he still walks against them, 390 OBP. But like Evan Carter does that too, right? Like Evan Carter could still walk against lefties. He just can't hit against them. So this is a really fun player. And 81% contact rate. Like this guy is going to be zooming up my rankings when I'm doing this next update in the rankings. Because I think I had him at 124 last time. He's easily probably a top 75 player this time around, if not a little bit higher. He's been very impressive, even though it's at high A, just very impressive. What do you think about Benj?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about him last time in that, there was some big hype and then it kind of went away. Well, if it's not back, it's coming back. Hey, he went to Oklahoma State, Stillwater. There you go. He probably knows the holidays and Tully. I don't know, he's saying stuff now, but I'm not sure if he's from there. It just says he went to college there. But yeah, no, I like what I see here. Got some power, showing signs of power, ready to steal bases. Gotta love that nearly 18% walk rate to 18% strikeout rate. That's what dreams are made of. So he's gonna get that promotion soon. And you know what? Again, like I'm just of the mind that and I get what you're saying with the Sagasi thing. That makes sense. And every team's got their pecking order and way they do things. But the Nye Mets, it's a Simpsons reference. The Nye Mets, they if they want to get an extra little punch down the stretch, they got to get first of all they got to get Benj up to Double-A right now. But you get him up there and he starts handling it the way he's handling high A. I mean, yeah, it's another guy like we might see down the stretch. Again, we have this thing where like injuries are so hard for us to envision until they're on our fantasy teams. And then we're like, oh, okay, who's next now? I'm getting destroyed by in some leagues. Noah Cameron, I got some flack when I was hyping him earlier in the year. Like, there's no way. There's no room in that rotation, bro. And I said, they are pitchers. It's 2025. He's going to get a chance as long as he's healthy. And here we are, right? So, and he got it. And it happened twice. and two of their Lugo and Reagans went out like the same day. So it can happen in a hurry. We'll see. But yeah, no, he's someone that you wanna get now in your dynasty leagues because stock's going up.
182 WRC plus. Like why is he still there? What's the point? Unless you're like, hey, let's set records. We want you to go 30-30 or whatever. Like, let's just have fun. Like, what's the point? What's the point of him still being down there? So number 9 here. Oh no, we got a Dodger. Number 9 starting pitcher Patrick Copen with the Dodgers. You're gonna love this guy because he's got a killer stash. Like talking about bring up a picture right now of Patrick Copen. This guy looks like he wants to be Doc Holliday, man. 11. So this last week in 2 starts, 11 and a third innings pitched, 21 strikeouts, 5 walks, 2.38 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, which is the most amazing thing that he has a 0.97 WHIP because I think his walk rate is like 18% or something. Like all he does is strike people out and walk people. Like this is basically the Blake Snell right now of the minor leagues. He's a righty, but like he's a big dude, crazy mustache, looks like a Civil War general. 15.8% walk rate, but an almost 40% K rate for Patrick Copen. Just ridiculous stuff from this guy. 6'6" beast, 95 to 98 mile per hour fastball. He's got a hard slider with a cutter. Just weird, interesting dude, big dude, tons of strikeouts. And like the main thing for him is like, can he get the walks under control? Like I'm going to pull him up here on the YouTube, but if he can get the walks under control, like this guy goes from like, oh, this guy just strikes a ton of people out, maybe be an awesome reliever to, oh, this guy could be a really good starter who just kind of came out of nowhere because he's not on any prospect lists. Even in your 30 team leagues, Doc, I bet this guy's available.
What's your deepest league?
20.
That's like, dude, what are you doing? You're the guy. Like I come here to learn about these guys I don't even know about, and you're not even playing in leagues where they're really valuable. That's crazy. You're a crazy person.
I'm also in some 16-team odd new leagues. So 16 teams, 40-man rosters, pretty deep. But yeah, I'm not a 30-teamer. I need one. I need a 30-teamer.
Okay. I run 2 of them, and I'm in like 5 of them. So, yeah, it's a doozy. And so, he is 3% owned on Fantrax, and he's actually already rostered in a couple of my leagues. Some of them he is not though. So I'm gonna give him one of these watch list and watch list. Those are the 2 30-teamers where his value would be the highest. And he's probably like some pepperoni rolls. And if you don't know what that is, you ain't from West Virginia. He's a redneck, just like my wife and her family. She's from West Virginia. mountain people, hill people down in a holler. And he is going to be a reliever if he doesn't change his ways. But I'll tell you what, we're talking about these 30-team leagues. I want to target guys like that, guys who could be an elite reliever, because again, those are really hard to predict sometimes, right? Do you want to just bet on starters who are going to flail out there? No, I mean sometimes I mean Mizorowski, like there, in some leagues you might be like Mizorowski. I think it's Mizorowski. If I was trading for him right now, I would view him as like a closer of the future, not as a starter. I know some people are saying he's showing signs, and maybe he is, but this so far, Patrick Copen, especially as a Dodger, it's tough to crack that rotation period. There's no shame in being an electric reliever for that team. A lot of save opportunities.
I don't know, dude. They have so many injuries. I feel like didn't the Dodgers have like 15 starters last year? The issue that I have is if he comes up with the Dodgers, like just wrap him in bubble wrap because he's probably gonna get hurt. All those guys, River Ryan, Emmett Sheehan, anyone who pitches for the Dodgers, Bobby Miller, they last like 30 innings and then they fall off a cliff. So,
man, you know what? Mizorowski's doing it though. He's keeping it going. I think I might have to start changing my tune on this guy.
Yeah.
He's finally under 4 walks per 9. I didn't think he was going to do it.
So as mentioned, I'm redoing my rankings right now. So next week, instead of doing the weekly podcast stuff, we'll probably start getting into some of the re-ranks. But I've got him up to number 34 right now in my rankings. I bumped him ahead of Quinn Matthews, for instance.
I can't see that, but okay.
103, man. He's throwing 103 with that funky delivery. I'll take it. T10, last guy on my list is shortstop Tyson Lewis with the Reds, who is of fame right now because in Complex League, he hit a ball 119.4 miles per hour, which is
you
insane.
Believe that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Complex do you believe that, though?
Complex League, yeah, I know. I don't know what kind of, what picked it up, but apparently he hit 119.4. But this week, 6 for 15, 1 extra base hit, but 6 steals. So not only can he hit the ball 119 miles an hour, apparently, but he can also steal bags, 6 steals. In Complex, he's hitting 440, 517, 720. Like, what's he doing there? Send the kid to A-ball. Like, send him to the Tortugas because right now he's in Arizona Complex League. Send him my way to Daytona Beach so I can watch him, and I'll tell you if he's really hitting the ball freaking 119 miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, this kid got a $3 million signing bonus. Pretty hyped coming out of the draft. One of these guys, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's making a ton of contact right now. He was an athletic freak, and you're seeing that with the steals, and he's just doing everything. He's just kind of doing it all, barely striking out. It's only been 8 games, but I think you're correct. It's almost like we're looking at DSL numbers right now. We're like, come on, put him against a real challenge. He's showing he needs that, and it's exciting if it works out. Again, Cincinnati Reds, they're playing in a fun ballpark if you're a batter.
Yeah, they need to take a cue from the Marlins. If a barely 17-year-old Andrew Salas can play an A-ball, then I think 19-year-old Tyson Lewis will be fine. Just let the kid play. Let's see him against some competition. Get him against Dason Hill. I want to see Dason Hill pitching to Tyson Lewis. That's what I need in my life. I think you got some huckleberries for us, Doc. Who do you have out of your huckleberries this week?
Yeah, I kind of slacked. I think it was last week. Yeah, the last couple of weeks maybe. I've just been like maybe putting 1 or 2 in there. I kind of did that again, but I was talking to Matt Morris about Brock Wilken again offline. Such a funny profile right now. He's got 11 home runs in 45 games. You love to see that from the big guy. He needs to have the power. He got 17 home runs through 109 games last year, and we're like, okay, his pace got matched in, right? But again, it was at Double-A. Like they put him in Double-A in 2023. Like immediately they said, "Let's see what you got, big guy." And his numbers are so crazy, like in a weird way. 22% walk rate at Double-A. Why isn't he in the majors for this Milwaukee team? He also has a 25% K rate. And so it's like, okay. And his contact rate's actually, though, it's 74.3. Like, this is an interesting profile. He's not just up there struggling. See guys like Cole Carrig, people are all over him. He's got a 69% contact rate right now. I like Carrick. I like some of these guys. Some guys can pull it off, but if you have a guy with maybe not Judge power, but like Max Muncy power, and maybe that kind of profile, and he's making that much contact, it's like I think there's an increasing chance we see Brock Wilken in the major leagues this fall. He needs to keep doing this, and if he keeps doing this, yeah, he's going to be in AAA pretty soon. It's weird though. So maybe no one thinks it's weird yet. I guess I got to point it out: 219 batting average to a 402 OBP. Again, those numbers don't suggest a 219 batting average. He's just not swinging the bat as much as maybe he needs to. Maybe bring that OBP down a little bit. Maybe we meet in the middle, right? Maybe you get up to a 240 batting average or like a 370 OBP. That's better. I think we want that. But yeah, what do you think? I know a lot of people were writing Brock Wilken off last year.
Yeah, I'm in. He's better now. I heard a podcast. I think Eno Saris interviewed him, or I think it was someone interviewed him and was like, "Hey, how did this mess you up? Like, how did getting hit in the face mess you up?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, he apparently had like major eye issues the whole rest of the year last year, and now he's seemingly fixed." I think that this BABIP thing is just some luck. He's a righty, maybe because he's a big guy. He's probably not going to be running 300 BABIPs, but 250, he should be running like a 280 BABIP probably. He's a righty. So even though like Max Muncy, I think is a good comp for him, he's a righty and Max Muncy is a lefty. So Max Muncy is naturally going to have worse BABIP luck because naturally as a lefty, you're going to be pulling it into, even though there's no shift, there's still a micro shift. So you can still kind of pull into that. You can still pull into that issue there where righties don't really have the same problem. So I agree. I think Wilken is a buy right now. I think if you can get him cheap, now's the time.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And again, it makes so much sense that his eye wasn't feeling good because you can see that, right? It's like, yeah, the 13% walk rate last year was actually pretty good, but I mean, up to 22%, pretty silly right now. My next guy is Cole Drake, who you you gave us a lead in earlier. He's a Texas Rangers pitcher, and I thought he must have faltered a little bit after his hot start because people were talking about him for 5 seconds, and I feel like I haven't heard him mentioned lately. No, he's still playing really well. He's doing what you want them to do, right? He's striking guys out, and he's not walking a lot. 6'5", 220. He's went to a bunch of small schools, more at Morristown, Tennessee, and Russellville, Arkansas. I got a flat tire in Russellville, Arkansas once. And actually it was further north in the middle of absolute nowhere. But that's like kind of nowhere. This was absolute nowhere. And I had to put a spare on and roll down to Russellville and wait for 4 hours. I don't recommend the Russellville Walmart for tire replacements. If you're ever there to see Cole Drake. He's actually originally from Utah. He's from all kinds of funny places. What's that?
I said go to the OG Walmart instead.
Yeah, I guess so. And so, he's got the fastball, curveball, changeup. That's kind of a fun, just like the basic arsenal. The command is high though, right? And he's he's got to be him and Mitch Bratt, like the two best pitching prospects for them right now. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, maybe. I think Davalillo. I don't know how you say his name. Is
he at high A though?
No, he's at Double A too.
Oh, okay.
So all these guys are at Double A. I mean, Rosario was even supposed to be there. So like Rosario,
Rosario would have been the number one. Who do they got at Triple A? What's going on there?
Nobody. Kumar. Kumar's there right now. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
He's probably complex right now rehabbing. But Drake is kind of like the Ian Seymour of the Rangers, where the Rays just have so many pitchers that Ian Seymour is like 26, just striking everybody out at AAA. Like, hello guys. It's like the pitching version of Michael Busch. I feel like Cole Drake is going to be that for the Rangers because he's 24 now and he's running a 27.1 K- walk rate at Double A. Why is he a 24-year-old with a 27 K- walk still at Double A? Like, move on up, guys. Move on up. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
it sounds funny, but I do think there's a difference between, although he's like getting to be an older past 300 days now, 24-year-old. But there is a difference. There's a little difference between 24 and 26. Once you get to that 26 and up, it's like, come on, like get them in the bigs, give them their shot, see what they're made of. Drake, I mean, again, we'll see. The Rangers have had they've had okay pitching health this year. I mean, Leiter's already back. We'll see. I'm not sure if there's going to be an opportunity. I don't really know who the Rangers are yet. They don't feel like. I don't think this is who they are right now. I think they have some. If they can get Carter back and clicking, he looks like he was clicking, then he got hurt again. Which, I mean, hopefully that's not the story of this kid's career. Adolis Garcia, is he starting to tail off, or is he going to have a hot summer?
Seager's coming back tomorrow. Seager's coming back, and
in theory,
Osuna up. I like Osuna.
Yeah, they gotta stay healthy, man. This team is like really dependent on health right now, and it's yeah. I mean, because if you got a guy like Mali and Eovaldi in there, and if you can get Leiter to be more consistent, I don't know. There could be a spot opening up for maybe a guy like Drake later on, depending on guys like Rocker, and it'll be an interesting battle because again, like you said, there's 3 guys hanging out doing really well at AA.
Yeah, and Rocker, if he moves to the pen, it's one more opening just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that if Rocker does move to the pen. You have one more Huckleberry. Who would be?
Daniel Egan. Now, this is someone I got to start promoting because people aren't going to believe me. When he starts becoming this hot new pitcher on the block. And I believe this is the right guy I'm thinking of. I think he had cancer when he was a kid. Do you know about this?
No, I didn't. Well, I know about. I know who Daniel Egan is. Like he's probably right around my top 150. He's like right in that range. I don't know if he's gonna make the cut or not yet.
Yes,
but I did not know he had cancer as a kid.
Brain cancer. I think he's got a scar on the back of his head. And so I did. You don't want to mess that one up. I love. Don't you love that with the Doc experience? Yeah, this guy had like baby cancer. Just made it up.
It's like, all right. His name's Doc. Just let it slide. He must be a doctor.
No, he was. He says he barely even remembers having it. He had horrible migraines when he was 4 years old. I'm reading this now, and he got brain cancer and a brain tumor, and they got it out of him. And so then he's pretty crazy story. He comes up here, has a nice stash now. Big body guy. What's he, 6'4", 225, I want to say? 205. Yep. Okay. He looks a little bigger out there, but maybe. 2.86 ERA at high A right now. This is his first. This is his first full year. This is his first year period. He didn't even pitch last year. This is his first year in pro ball.
Mm-hmm.
4.9 walks per nine. We want to watch that. I think that's gone up a little bit as the year's gone on. But his last, he had a couple crazy starts. In 4 innings, he had 10 strikeouts and 1 walk. 6 innings, which you love to see. The next start, 12 strikeouts, no walks. Then he had he had 1 game with 7 walks. But
Tri-City Dust Devils, those bastards.
Interesting, but he allowed no hits. What a weird guy.
That's Snellian right there, Blake Snellian.
Yeah. And then, but then his last game, most recent game, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings. You'd love to see that, 2 hits. Like he looks really good. He's in the Diamondbacks organization. He pitched himself as the next Zach Gallen. I'm like, well, I guess you're in the right organization. He's not going to blow you away necessarily, but he's going to get the job done. And if you looked at his college numbers, it was weird to me that, again, it must be, I'm not super familiar with his arsenal, or I haven't really seen him a ton, but I saw him play in the spring breakout, and I liked his numbers coming into it. Coming out of NCAA last year, he went from he was just, I don't know what was wrong with him, but he had like a 70 ERA a couple of years in 2022 in college. 2024, he had 2.67 ERA. 14 strikeouts per 9, 3.2 walks per 9. This is a guy who I just like his background. He's clearly, he's been through it, even if he was just a kid. He's big bodied. And just this is someone who is rostered, I think, basically nowhere. I want to take a look here. I think he's under 5%. Yeah, 3% still rostered in Fantrax, which makes him readily available in a lot of leagues, more than he should be.
Yeah, 17.4% swinging strike rate. That's insane. So that'll play all day. You can actually see, if you're on YouTube, I've got the splits pulled up, that righties it's kind of weird. Against lefties, he has more Ks and more walks. And then righties, I feel like it's a more neutral, like even performance. But lefties is just so volatile between strikeout or K. So that might have something to do with the arsenal. Like, hey, his pitch, maybe whatever pitch is his put away pitch to lefties is his worst location pitch between whatever breaker it is between the slider or the curve.
So
So
that's
that might
exciting that this is his first year, like first exposure to pro ball. They throw him right into high A, and like he's bouncing back after poor outings too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Egan, name to watch. We got to run. So, Doc, you can find Doc on the Twitter at Doc Eisenhauer. You can find me at Fantasy Aceball. You can also find Doc on the Dynasty Dingers pod. And you can find this podcast if you want to watch it and look at the stats and look at our beautiful faces as you're going around. Then you can watch at the Tim Kanak on YouTube. So, upcoming, you will be getting rankings updates coming from me. It's been a lot of work. I've spent a ton of time on it, and I'm only 50 deep so far because I do write-ups on it. I'm not just throwing you names. I'm giving you like nice little in-depth write-ups on all of these guys. It takes a lot of time to do. So hopefully I will have those out by next weekend, and we can start rolling into those on the podcast next week. Until next time, we will see you later. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.